Namaste, everybody. Today's pose is Tittibhasana, firefly. We first see Tittibhasana in the Ashtanga primary series, where we come ideally from jumping into Bhujapadasana, and then we lift our legs straight and jump back through Bakasana into Chaturanga. I can't really do that yet, but everything's a work in progress, and so that's where you're going in the primary series. The second, the intermediate series, you explore Tittibhasana a little more with standing Tittibhasana A. There's several variations, A, B, and C, I believe, and just several of those are standing, and then there's one where you actually can tilt the pelvis up and back, and anyway, but we're just going to stick with the Tittibhasana, arm balance, so it's once you understand where your elbows go and kind of the mechanics of the pose, and you work to open your pelvic bowl and your hamstrings and your hips, then it can become accessible. But first you have to be able to open your pelvis, your hips, and your hamstrings, because those are all the things that you're going to need to make this pose happen. So to go over a few prep poses, and I do suggest that you A, do these every day before even attempting Tittibhasana, and B, hold them for more than 2 breaths. You need to really hold these. If that means to find the posture, hold for 10 breaths and come back out, kind of like a yin practice, that's completely fine. Hold them, because that's what creates your space and elongates your muscles that allows you to get into these postures. So, some good ones for Tittibhasana, Baddha Konasana, bound angle, opens the pelvis, opens the hips, good stuff. You can fold forward. That's a good one. Paschimottanasana, because it elongates your hamstrings. Another good one, holding. So any of the seated postures that elongate your hamstrings, Janu Sirsasana, same. And it helps to open your hips as well, so that's a really good one. Let's see, Upavista Konasana, because this is essentially the movement you're going to have. This is a really, really great one. So you'll ground down, walk your hands out, hold, come back up. Because that's the movement you're creating, so that's a really good one to do and hold. Another kind of in that same line is gravitational stretches against the wall, which is just good every day, just because. Taking your bottom to the wall, taking the legs up the wall, Vaparita Karani first. And then exhaling to open the legs out, letting them just fall wherever they are. A light stretch in the inner thighs. You don't force your feet down. You breathe, you hold, and over time they do shift and move down. But you've got to breathe, be patient, and don't force with everything. So I love these. I did these all the time when I was a kid, and it really helps develop flexibility. Good stuff. Bring the feet together, roll to the side, come up. Standing poses too. Obviously, down dog elongates your hamstrings, the spine, it stretches out. Hamstrings too. Uttanasana, always good for hamstring length. Malasana is key, and this is how we're going to come into the posture. So, nice straight spine, knees move into your armpits, open the pelvis, send the tailbone down, breathe. Okay, so giving Tittibhasana a try. As with other postures we talked about, you're going to have the strong Chaturanga arms. The idea is ultimately that you're getting your legs on top of your shoulders. That's not accessible to most people when they first start. So the idea is, kind of bringing your legs behind to catch yourself on your elbows. But you've got to create that solid 90-degree bend to do that. So from here, going into Tittibhasana, first with really, really bent arms and kind of where you'd start once you feel comfortable with all of the prep poses and you feel really open. Also, I suggest you do a good practice before you ever attempt this at all. So make sure you're really, really warm. From here, inhale, bottom up. So you kind of walk the feet over the shoulders, taking the hands behind the heels. So from here, big breath in. On the exhale, bend the elbows a lot and then sink the bottom down. So right here, I'm gonna catch myself on my arms and then sink the bottom down. See if the feet wanna come up. They wanna come up, they wanna come up. And then here, send the energy out of your feet, really bending the arms. So this is where you start. And you breathe, and you lower down. So the more open you become in your pelvis and your hamstrings and your hips, the more space you can create and the higher you can get your legs onto your arms. So after you've been working at it a while, same movement. Bend down, drop the bottom, lift the legs, and then send the tailbone back and down, kind of straightening the arms and rolling the pelvis down and open. And then maybe coming here, straight arms, and release it down. So, as with everything, practice and patience. Practice and patience. Always, always, always. Stay with the prep poses. Any straddle, gravitational stretches, anything that opens your pelvis, malasana, squats, yogi squat. Yeah, and obviously the chaturangas, the planks, for strength in your arms, because you are using strength. You're using your shoulders, your entire upper body really, and then a little strength in the legs. But I mean, you've got to build all of this. It's all of these arm balances are really just kind of your entire body working together. Your regular asana practice will help to build it. Just sun salutations and all of it. So practice, practice, practice. Patience, patience, patience. If you have any questions, let me know. Namaste.